Ladies and gentlemen, PulseX exchange on the Pulse chain is broken. This is not clickbait. This is coming directly from Richard Hart himself. The good news is there's a fix on the way. The good news is it hasn't necessarily created some sort of exploit. It's not that bad of a problem, but it is a significant problem long term, and I'm glad it's getting addressed. And I think it's incredible that Richard is the one who brought this forward to the community, which is awesome. And give Richard credit where credit is due. The guy gets way too much hate for those outside of the Pulse ecosystem. Richard Hart, listen, Pulse took a long time to launch. We know that. It didn't launch perfectly. However, he has a functioning product that is working as well or better than a lot of other projects at launch. This particular project, Pulse Chain, is shaping up to be an incredible layer 1 solution. I myself earned over $1,000 in the Pulse Chain ecosystem in a single day. I posted a video about it. I'll link it above. You can take a look at it. Let's take a look at Richard Hart's tweet. This is a tweet from about 30 minutes ago. It says, "It appears that the PulseX buy and burn gets all the fees, leaving none for the LP. This same code has been in use for years of testing it. No one noticed, including the LPs. The fix that leaves fees for the LPs is on the right below. The current code is on the left. This has nothing to do with the ink token that the LPs earn in the farms. When the new pairs exist with the new logic, everyone can move over to them if they wish, or they can stay where they are, earning no fees, giving them more to the buy and burn. Or you could pull your LP. In summary, if you are an LP in PulseX currently, you are not earning fees unless you are in a farm, in which case you're earning ink. The code you've been running is public and open source." And then he says, here's the code. I'll let you know when the new code is live. Okay, so a couple of things. Every single transaction that occurs on PulseX is charged a 0.29% fee. 0.21% fee of that fee went to everyone who was providing liquidity. If you come over here, you can see how much people are supposed to be getting. Come to pools. And this is the LP rewards. This is a reward just in fees that you should be getting for providing liquidity based on the amount of liquidity in the overall pool and the amount of transaction in the for that particular pool. So for example, the PulseX and Pulse pool should be getting 10.95%. What he's saying is they're not getting this 10.95%. The Pulse and DAI pool should be getting 96% in fees. He's saying this 96% is not going to the LP providers. I have a little bit of liquidity provided for Pulse and DAI. I'm supposed to be getting 96% APR based on total liquidity in that pool, and there's 186 million in 7-day volume in that pool. Well, instead of us getting this fee is going to the buy and burn, which makes sense because this PulseX token has been getting burned like crazy. I mean, like crazy. And it was making me super excited. Now I'm like, so this means that the PulseX buy and burn is going to slow down drastically. Because instead of 0.29% buying PulseX and burning it off of the exchange, now only 0.6 of that fee. So 0.6 instead of 0.29. 75% less, roughly, maybe 80% less. I'm trying to use round numbers here. Either way, it's a lot less is going to go to the buy and burn. But this is very important because some people have been thinking they've been getting impermanent loss in their pools. They shouldn't have gotten as much impermanent loss as they have. Now, by the way, impermanent loss is oftentimes overblown and misunderstood. I did a whole video explaining it. I think it's one of the simplest explanations that dispel what impermanent loss is not, and at the same time shows a very simple explanation of what impermanent loss is. I encourage you to watch that video. But in that video, I talked about how the LP fees were designed basically to help offset impermanent loss and give us a profit, in some cases a significant profit. So right now, we have a couple of choices. One is you can come over here and you can pull out your liquidity. If you're in the farms, you could pull out if you want. Now, if you're providing liquidity like I have been and you're not getting any incentive token, the only reason to stay in those liquidity pools is because you're willing to risk impermanent loss for no potential upside than the benevolence of allowing the fees to be used to buy back and burn PulseX. And that's up to you if you want to do that. Listen, I'll be very honest with you. I'm not that benevolent. There's no reason for me to risk losing money, which no doubt that we are losing some money just due to impermanent loss when the fees can't help compensate that. However, if you're sitting in the farms, which are some of the most important pairings over here, you're earning ink tokens at a significant rate. So the ink tokens definitely are offsetting any impermanent loss. And if you don't believe that, it's because you think your token values going down is the same thing as impermanent loss. It is not. Please go watch the video where I talk about impermanent loss and explain exactly what impermanent loss is. But the overall APRs are still really, really good. And the ink rewards have made this insanely profitable. I mean, insanely profitable. What's going to happen is Richard Hart is going to roll out new farms, is what it sounds like. When I say Richard Hart, I mean the development team behind PulseX. They're going to roll out new farms. And so we'll probably see new DAI Pulse farms. And when you go into those new farms, they may be similar APRs, I'm not sure. But when you go into those new farms at that point in time, then you'll be earning the new LPs. There is a fix coming. They're aware there's a problem. They're going to get it fixed. And I give Richard Hart credit for coming out and stating it publicly. Clearly, he stated it, once it's been realized. He stated the problem very clearly here. I felt like he was very articulate. A lot of people who don't quite understand the technical, or they're new to yield farming, they're new to DeFi, may have found this a little bit confusing. But all it means is you're not getting the LP fees you're supposed to get, the fees for people making transactions. You're not getting them. All of those fees are being used to buy back and burn PulseX right now, but you are getting your APR from the actual farm in the ink token, in which you can harvest that and sell it or do whatever you want to do with it. You have been getting that. That is not factored into this at all, but you're not getting the fees you were supposed to get in the liquidity pool. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If you have any questions, put them down below. A couple of the quick things you need to be aware of coming up. First of all, I'm going to let you know as soon as a fix is available. I'll put out a video. So if you want to stay informed with that, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell notification, and click all. I have a video coming up. We're talking about the biggest airdrop that's ever happened. Of all time, this is by far the biggest airdrop. You might actually have thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars sitting in your wallet right now and you don't even know about it. And I'm going to show you how you can find out how you can claim that airdrop coming up soon. You're not going to want to miss it. Also, I'm going to cover I've got some content coming out where I'm going to talk about how to provide liquidity for PulseX. I'm also going to talk about possible price predictions. I got a lot of content coming up for PulseX and Pulse chain in general. So if you don't want to miss that content, make certain that you subscribe down below. Also, I have a video coming out. Those of you who've been following my copy trading journey, where I have a goal of earning $5,000 per month, that's my goal. If you want to follow that journey, make sure you go down in the description and subscribe. I've got an update video coming out either later today or tomorrow. Find out exactly how that whole journey is going for me. Thank you so much for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.